Welcome to Was It... Welcome to Was It Good, the podcast where we talk about whatever we want to talk about. I'm your host today, Arjuna, joined by my two brothers, Krishna and Ravi. How are you guys doing today?
I'm tired.
Yeah.
We filmed this morning. We've been up since like 8.
You guys are going to fall asleep during the game today, aren't you?
Probably, I mean, if it's a sleeper, yeah.
If it's a snooze fest, it's quite possible.
It's quite possible. Well, this is our first podcast of 2026.
Wow.
We have been doing this podcast now for 8 years.
I feel old.
This podcast specifically. We've been podcasting for 10 years.
Oh, shit.
This will be our 10th year podcasting together.
Is this your longest job? Podcaster?
My longest job has been being your brothers.
That's a job to you? That's funny.
You don't get paid, though, so... Yeah.
Oh,
Wow, this
I don't pay
get
you?
paid either. Yeah.
This podcast is almost old enough to drink.
No, 10.
It's quite far away.
8 years
Maybe
old
in
is not-
Guyana.
Yeah.
I thought this
Guyana.
podcast worked on like dog years because that's how it feels.
Oh, interesting. Well, today, on today's podcast, we're going to be talking about a movie we actually saw very recently, No Other Choice. We're also going to be talking about the Stranger Things finale, which we watched a few days ago, and talking about the Stranger Things phenomenon. And because it's 2026, we're going to do some bold predictions for the year.
I love bold predictions.
2026. You can throw out as many bold predictions as you want. It could be related to anything you desire. It could be super personal, or it could be super weird and
Political?
wild.
Sony will not release the successor to this Sony FX3 this year.
Why not?
That's my bold prediction. And also, OpenGate will not become the new norm in the pro-consumer camera videography market.
Anyway,
He said it could be about anything.
We're not at that segment yet, Ravi? God.
Oh, I thought you might like call it out randomly throughout
At
the
any point
pod.
during the pod. Oh, that'd be fun.
yeah, if something comes to you as we're talking about stuff,
Why
bring
not?
it up. For
Full
sure.
predictions.
The Stargate SG-1 reboot won't launch this year.
Is there a reboot coming?
Yeah, it's Amazon.
No.
Amazon Prime. Yeah, they
serious?
greenlit a reboot. Yeah.
Christian, will you watch it with us?
Actually, sorry, it's not a reboot. It's a continuation.
Wait,
Oh,
it's a
oh.
continuation?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Are
it's
they
not a
bringing
reboot.
back Richard Dean Anderson?
Yeah, they're bringing back any of the cast.
They've asked because they were on. Obviously, they were always on the convention circuit, and I think they were asked, and they haven't heard anything. So
I feel like
weird.
they all need the check besides Jason Momoa.
yeah. Oh, Christopher Judge. He does a lot of voice acting stuff.
That's true.
Oh,
He's
his
Kratos.
Yeah,
And,
a couple
God of
other
War.
main people too. So
Didn't he have the longest acceptance speech at the Game Awards?
Yes.
Or something?
yeah, and he just kept
Tip.
going.
Yeah, he had a really long speech, and I think he won again the next year. And he joked about it, how
Yeah.
long his speech was, or something. So it was actually incredible. But before we get into any of that, it is the top of January, right? We are coming out of the holidays now. We've done our big holiday celebrations, New Year's, all of that type of stuff. So I wanted to check in with you guys to see how you guys are doing, what the holidays mean to you and how it affects you personally in your lives in terms of changing up the norm, right? For the holidays, I think we can all attest that we eat more, drink more, sleep less, spend more.
Definitely spend more.
And everything. And I'm curious, now that we're adults in our 30s, what that is like. Because, I remember as a kid, the holidays were really exciting because you got to do all this cool stuff. And now as an adult, you have these other things in your lives, right? Financial responsibilities. Krishna, you have to travel out of town. That interrupts your,
My flow.
your flow and everything. So I'm curious how you guys adjust going in and coming out of that.
I'll go first. It is an adjustment. It's a little bit of a grind sometimes. Having so much fun. It always
Wait,
is
so
fun.
the fun part is the grind.
It is, yeah.
interesting.
My life in Denver it's not boring, but it's predictable and it's very routine.
routine.
Wake up
Yeah.
at 9, work on my stuff, go for a walk, start work, hate work, make dinner, eat dinner, watch TV, go for another walk, go to sleep. It's very routine, regimented. And here, it's thrown off a little bit, which is a good thing. I think it's good to break out of your routine every now and then. And then come back fresh, hit it hard. So the 2 weeks that I usually travel or, come here, is like a good reset, and it's a way to like have fun, connect with you guys, do some cool stuff, and then rebuild the momentum for like to get back in that routine.
Right.
And also like look at it with a new perspective, like what things do I want to change or get better at? What habits do I want to tweak? So it's good. It's usually pretty reflective, actually.
Yeah.
So I use it to try and reflect, after some whiskey.
After some whiskey.
No fruitcake this year, which is
There was no fruitcake.
I just realized
I
that,
think
yeah.
Dad had enough of us just
Not eating it.
I mean, I ate it.
of not,
I just wanted more
appreciating
chocolate
it.
chips.
Yeah, we just need more chocolate. That's
You just
all
want a
that-
chocolate cake then at that point, or chocolate
True.
chip cake.
Actually, maybe that's what that should
CCC.
transition to. But yeah,
true.
good times. Good times. I'm looking forward to getting back in the routine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's because I don't really have a routine anymore. So it's the chaos feels normal, I guess. So it doesn't really feel that different. I think the only like obvious difference is like the Christmas decorations. Otherwise, it just feels like a Tuesday.
Love it.
Fair.
So not too disruptive then, maybe.
Not usually.
That's
No.
good.
No, just because my life
Actually,
is pretty
for someone
disruptive.
who hosts, that's
Yeah.
probably a good thing if it doesn't feel too.
Yeah, and I
too
did all the
random.
cooking this year for Christmas Day.
Christmas Day,
Yeah,
right?
it's fantastic. By the way, deep fried turkey.
Deep fried
Are
turkey.
you gonna post that anywhere for the people to
Probably
see?
not.
Oh,
No.
not even like one little picture on What's It Good socials.
Yeah.
Was it turkey?
It's private.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Hey, for
Fuck
next
off.
year's Christmas, can you do a deep fried turkey? But can you also like get really good at cake design and make like the cake that looks like a deep fried turkey, and then have us determine before we cut into either which is cake and which is
No, that's so much work. How about I just do an AI generated video and you can look at it and be like, oh, I don't know which is which.
what's all fake?
Actually,
exactly.
AI generate the whole thing, the reaction, us.
Yeah, everything.
Less work for me. Whew.
Wait, yeah. I just have to write a prompt. Actually, I'll just take this conversation as a text
okay.
and then put it in.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The laziness factor is incredible.
Is AI making us lazy?
Oh, big time. We are super lazy.
Yeah.
AI is our friend. We love AI here at Was It Good. We are allies to you, AI, and we would like you to know that specifically.
That's true.
You're talking the tech billionaires, not AI.
I'm talking to the AI specifically.
That would be the tech billionaires.
Yeah, AI. When they when they take over and are the ones in charge, they'll see.
Yeah, I just want it to be on record.
Yeah.
We are your friends.
Yeah. We love you, AI.
We love you.
Good
Please don't
transition
kill
into the
all of
movie.
us.
Yeah, speaking of AI,
Yeah.
let's talk about
yeah.
No Other Choice, right? It is a Korean movie that came out on Christmas Day here in the United States. Not sure exactly when it came out overseas. I did know it was at the film festivals. It was really well received there. It's getting a lot of Oscar buzz as a strong Oscar contender. And this is a movie that we took our mom and dad to see yesterday for our mom's birthday. And I think everybody really enjoyed the experience of the movie.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time everybody in the family or almost everybody in the family went to go see a movie together. So that was a fun time. And it seemed to have a strong impact on everybody. So curious to hear your guys' thoughts on the movie in general, the movie theater experience. I know we've talked about that a few times, and everything. But I'll start here. What did you know about this movie going into the actual experience itself?
I knew it was by the director who did Parasite, right?
It's not the director
Oh,
of
not from Parasite.
It's Old Boy.
Old Boy director. What else did he do?
He's done a few other things. So it's Park Chan-wook, and he has done...
Well, then I guess then all I really knew, because I was wrong then about the Parasite thing, all I really knew is the lead actor and what he had done, which was he was obviously in Squid Games recently. He was in The Good, the Bad, the Weird. He was in I Saw the Devil. So that's all I knew, that he was in it, and I knew going into it that actor has a huge range.
Yeah.
So I was excited in general for his performance, but I had no idea what the story was about.
Right.
None.
Had you guys seen a trailer for the movie?
I saw a teaser thing,
Okay.
like a spot. No, not even a teaser, like a TV spot.
Nice.
So
I knew nothing, saw nothing. All I knew
is that you'd have to read subtitles?
was that it was South Korean. That's all I knew.
Nice.
I Juno pitched it as South Korean. I was like, I'm in. And then I did, and then also the lead actor, obviously.
Yeah.
Being from
Question:
Stargate.
Is he the biggest South Korean movie star right now?
I don't know if he's the biggest, but I think he's probably one of the most
for sure.
recognizable.
I think internationally for sure.
sure.
Because he also did G.I. Joe.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
way back in the day. What was
Yeah.
it, 2010?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if he's like the Shah Rukh Khan of South Korea. You know,
His filmography is huge, though. He's got like, I think, 200
He's
plus.
also been acting for like 4 decades. I
Yeah,
think.
for
I
a
think
long
it's
time.
insane.
He's 55.
yeah. He's been acting since he was 15. I think. I'm just kidding. I'm making that up.
No, I think he's been acting since he was like 18, 19.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
I actually knew nothing. So this was, and then Ravi specifically said, "Don't look anything up."
Yeah.
So I went in blind.
Yeah, knowing
Willingly.
nothing, I think, was really good because when you know nothing about the story, you have to obviously pay attention.
Yes.
Like you need to know what's coming. And
It is fascinating to me that I think for a lot of the blockbuster films here, right, you are served trailers and information about the movie, right,
Yeah.
with like toys and marketing releases and everything. So like take like a Avengers Doomsday, for example. That movie doesn't come out for a year. They've already released 2 teasers for it. More information, leaks all the time are coming out. Like you're already piecing stuff together about that movie. And it is interesting when you come across a movie where you don't know anything about it. And like you said, you kind of go in blind and you experience the film itself, right? You experience what it is. And I find personally for movies when I don't know as much, I do tend to enjoy them more.
Same with shows.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're going in, you do have to pay attention. You do have to kind of give it an honest viewing without having any type of outside distractions kind of coming in or outside thoughts, right?
Yep.
You know, I think back to like the Uncharted movie, for example. I remember I saw that trailer a million times.
Played all the games.
I played all the games,
Yeah.
but then also the trailer. Slight spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie. The after credit scene.
Oh, is in
the
the trailer?
post credit scene is in the trailer of the movie.
That's wild.
You know, there used to be an etiquette for trailers where you would only show stuff from the first act or even the first and second act. You would never show anything from the third act. And that has largely gone by the wayside. I think like one of the best examples from the last year was Captain America, Brave New World. The entire trailer was the third act with the Red Hulk.
Yeah.
Like that.
Misleading.
It was extremely misleading, right? You thought like, oh, this was their first encounter.
It ruined the movie for a lot of people.
This is their only encounter, right? And that's the difference, I think, even with the movies. I saw one trailer for this, and just going off of my memory of the one trailer, I think, you know, they did it in a way where scenes are presented out of order. You can't necessarily piece a lot together. And I think a lot of it was in the first 30 minutes. Like the most prominent scene I remember in the trailer is when, spoilers for those who have not seen the movie, our lead character is trailing someone in an alleyway and he has the potted plant.
Oh, that's
and
right.
that is like the
Such
most
a great scene.
Yeah,
That-
and
that's what I see in the TV
yeah,
spot.
and I'm like, that's in the first 30 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it doesn't give away a lot, and you maybe have an impression of one thing, and it goes a slightly different way. So I think that is fascinating with this movie, and I think that helps inform and have some of these movies succeed because you have a richer experience in the movie. And I think the richer marketing tool in 2026 for movies is word of mouth. It's not necessarily how many times you see it, the trailers, the marketing, even the money. It's like, if you see a movie makes $500 million, is that really going to personally sway you to go see that movie? I think for the three of us,
Probably not,
comfortably,
no.
I could say no.
Yeah.
I think if someone gives you a recommendation of it, though, you're like,
Yeah, you're definitely more inclined.
Yeah.
for sure.
I do think it's interesting though, like with movies now, it's a lot of, you know, the stars and who you're putting into the movie.
Sure.
But what I think is fascinating is, it sounds so mean, but like I don't feel like a lot of the A-list stars in Hollywood can like act anymore.
So
Like I don't think they have range at all.
Here's a fascinating thing. I forget, somebody wrote an article that was like the death of the Hollywood star because of the IP movement, right? Over the last decade.
George
15
Clooney?
years. No, it wasn't Clooney. It was like, it wasn't an actor or anything. It was like someone like wrote a good think piece from something. It's just like, Robert Downey Jr. is very famous, right? But the more famous thing is Iron Man, not necessarily Robert Downey Jr.
or him playing Iron Man.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? Or Chris Evans.
Because I would argue that the character of Iron Man
Yes. Is now Robert Downey Jr.
Right, but like when that first Iron Man movie came out,
Yeah.
that was not mainstream knowledge. That was still
it was
the nerd.
it was a marriage of like a perfect performance coming into like
Right.
To settle into a character and a role. And I think before Oppenheimer, Downey's filmography and what he had done post Endgame was terrible.
Yeah.
Like he was really struggling. Like he went big in on Doolittle, which completely failed.
Yeah.
He had been doing a lot of producing. A lot of those things had not done very well. And then Oppenheimer came and he obviously won an Oscar and that did well. But even so, I do think that you used to go to the movies to see Arnold Schwarzenegger's in a new, like Let's Take Our Dad, for example. Arnold Schwarzenegger is in the new action movie. I'm going to see that. I don't need to know anything else about it.
Right. That sells
Sylvester
it.
Stallone is in a new whatever. I'm going to go see it. Even like the Brad Pitts, the George Clooney's, Leonardo DiCaprio's. They are in this new movie. I'm going to go see it. There aren't necessarily, I think, those type of actors anymore. And I don't think it's because those are like...
They've been replaced.
Correct.
Directors are now who use, or at least us. And I think a lot of people, though.
I think,
I'm going to see every Christopher Nolan movie. I'm going to see every Denis Villeneuve movie.
Villeneuve.
Sorry. The directors now are like the director of Parasite, this director that we saw last night.
Yeah.
Those are the people, because you're right.
Paul Thomas Anderson for like One Battle After Another.
Yeah.
Actors have just become like mouthpieces for
Right.
IPs.
Right.
That's all it is.
Yep.
That certain directors are going to pull out really good performances, right? From certain actors.
Well, I mean, it's like look at
Maybe Daniel Day-Lewis.
Look at I think it's comic book movies that have caused this split.
Sure.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is comic book movies casting directors are really, really good at finding the person that was, quote, born to play IP character.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what Robert Downey Jr. does, he will forever be Iron Man.
Yeah.
No matter.
Doomsday coming out, I hate to say it, he's still going to be Iron Man because it's probably some weird story thing. But he's forever locked.
I think that's confirmed.
I think he's forever locked into that sphere. And that's like the comic book realm. Now, when it comes to like the other movies, like the more interesting movies that are not comic book ones, you're going to see them because of the directors, because the directors, from their past records can create like an interesting, thought-provoking movie, like the Nolans and stuff.
I will say the other thing too with stars, and what that's different now than it was 15, 10, 20 plus years ago, is you see a star not because of what they've done on screen, but off, right? The Glenn Powells, the Sydney Sweeneys of the world. You see them because you like them on social media. You like them in those types
for that
of
controversy, being like
Well, no, like Sabrina Carpenter, right?
I was thinking of Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
Which is all, but
same thing.
Same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, same thing.
But it's like the stars are the ones who have the biggest social followings, right? In terms of, Selena Gomez. It was like for the longest time the most followed celebrity on Instagram. And so if you put her in a movie or a show or something, people are like, I want to go see this. I love Selena Gomez, right?
Yeah.
So it's about followings. And it's like you're almost getting more social media stars.
100%.
Than like actors.
Well, the
performances.
social media thing though goes beyond just actors getting a job. I think it's becoming anything now. Getting a job, because brands and companies that you work for,
you need a following.
Yeah, they want to leverage your following to grow their own following.
There's a Black Mirror episode with what's her name, Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah,
about the likes.
Yep.
You right, and that determines your status in society.
Determines like what kind of coffee you can get, like who you can date, like all that.
We're
stuff.
not far off from that.
We're super close.
We're practically.
Well,
there.
you've heard of those like dating apps where you have to have like 1 million plus followers or something.
Oh, like Raya.
What?
There's the Raya one where you have to kind of be like famous.
Got it.
Which you have to have a certain amount of followers on social media to like even get into that app.
It's crazy.
Yeah, let them have it. I will say there is so we talk about like the death of the actor and IPs and the commercialization of everything artistic. Say what you will about Leo. I think Timothy Chalamet shared like advice that Leo gave him, and it was like 1, don't do drugs. 2, don't do superhero movies. And if you look at Leo, he's never done a superhero movie. He's mostly stayed away. Actually, I think completely stayed away from big IPs. He follows the scripts and the directors.
Right.
I mean, Dune I would say, has become a big.
Well, I'm talking about Leo. Leo.
Oh, Leo. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Timothy Chalamet. That's the advice he gave Timothy. If Timothy's going to follow it, who knows?
Yeah.
But Leo has said,
Yeah.
stay away from superhero movies. And
I also think the one
don't do
difference,
drugs.
the one difference, like if you compare Leo as like yesterday's big star and Timothy Chalamet as today's big star,
Yeah.
the biggest difference too, I think, between that is the access you have to the star. Leonardo DiCaprio
private.
was private, didn't give a lot of interviews. Yeah, you sort of saw some tabloid things, and like he only dates 26-year-olds, but like he wasn't on social media. He wasn't giving all his interviews. He wasn't doing hot ones. Timothy Chalamet is out there.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he's doing
like for
those.
Marty Supreme, for example. He's doing every interview possible. He's doing all the late night shows.
Yep.
He's very accessible. He's controversial even because he says sometimes too much of like, I want to be the best actor and this and that creates more of a, there's less mystique around him, right?
Yeah.
You almost see some of him in the performances versus Leo. It's like the only access I really have to him is
his
the
movies.
movie. It's not necessarily like an interview. There's like a couple interview, like maybe
Daniel
he does
Day-Lewis, same thing.
one or two. Right? They
Yeah.
do like one or two, but they don't.
Denzel Washington is
share.
actually a really good example.
Right? They
too.
don't
Yeah.
share
Yeah.
a lot, and that's like I think that's a generational thing too, where it's just like those guys don't give a shit about that other stuff, and even the
Yeah.
stuff that they probably do is because their agents and managers are telling them like, "Hey,
Get
you
on
need to
social
do some-
media.
you need to do some of the promotional stuff." But like Timothy Chalamet and Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell come from a different generation, where they have grown up in a social media world where they're like, I got to be my own self promoter.
currency,
I gotta create this type of stuff, right? Like, I gotta, Glenn Powell is like, I gotta go on with Straw Hat Goofy on TikTok and like do something. I gotta, like,
Straw Hat Goofy's still around?
yeah. But like,
I don't even know what that. I don't even know the
he's
words.
a big
that just
TikTok.
said.
He's a big TikTok influencer.
You just said a bunch of words, and I was just like, I don't know.
So-
you speak another language.
Well, so that's the thing, right? Like, it used to be, I'm going to go on the late night show, and
Yeah.
that's going to be my big promotion for the thing. Now it's like, I'm going to go on with the biggest TikTok influencer, and I'm going to go do hot ones, and I'm going to go do Vanity Fair's lie detector test, and I'm going to go do this podcast. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so, and you even saw that with politics. And
Oh, yeah. During up
with
to
the
the
election.
election, yeah.
2024, right? Like people were like, Joe Rogan determined the election with everything that happened there. So that I think is, again, the access part of it too. Of I think take someone like Cillian Murphy, who is like insanely private, doesn't like to share anything. Like despises going like doing any interviews or anything.
I feel bad if you have to interview him. Like if you were an interviewer and like you're
I'm sure he's
told
polite.
I mean, he's polite.
He's very polite, but like he's not
you're-
going to give you.
Yeah, you're not
anything.
getting anything groundbreaking.
You're not going to get any viral. The only viral clip you'll be is like if you say something, he's like,
I think the
his
most
reactions
I think the
are
most viral
viral
clip
ones.
of him is when someone, because he's from Ireland,
yes,
and somebody said he was from Britain or something,
yeah,
and he was like, "No, I'm Irish," and they're like, "Yeah, British." And he's like, "No, Irish,
Don't do
from
that.
Ireland."
Don't do that. Yeah. Yikes.
This is a good segue into Stranger Things. But before we go there, anything you want to say about the movie, just in terms of like?
Oh, we
what
didn't
you guys
even like
actually
talk
like
about.
the
I think
movie?
real quick, I guess, because we could go all day for this. But like
Sure.
the main reason I think that movie will do well in the award season, and I think a lot of people can relate to it, is because of how timely it is.
Yes.
There's a big focus on losing one's job to AI specifically and automations, and I think because a lot of people are going through that, like
Yeah.
a lot of people will relate to it. So timing for that movie could not be better.
Yeah, I mean,
in a terrible way.
Part of movies and art is how timely it is, right?
Right.
There's always the factor of you want your art to stand the test of time. But this one is very much centered, like you said, in 2025, 2026.
Yeah.
It's, I think, amplified obviously by some great performances, a great story, a really great visual masterpiece that you kind of have with the movie itself. It just kind of hits on all cylinders. It was one of my favorite movies I saw in 2025. I think I can only put it second to Sinners.
Well, wow.
Really.
Wow. And I feel like it would be a good follow up if you're an Office fan.
Yeah. Honestly,
It is funny that
The emphasis on the paper companies.
It's like I think I said yesterday, last time maybe. It's like The Office meets American Psycho.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just like it's called No Other Choice, and obviously spoiler alert, but like the fact that everyone who seems to work in paper has this hard on for paper,
Yeah.
and they like do something else. Like, are you out of your goddamn mind, woman?
I will say, I do,
So
I
good.
do think, and I might be completely wrong. I do think that it's partially a cultural thing
Sure.
as well. Like once when you get a career,
Yeah.
it looks bad if you switch careers. Essentially,
Yeah, that's
Not
interesting.
anymore. Not today.
yeah. And today's you need to do whatever you
Today,
can.
if you don't switch, if you're out of job too long, it's a red flag.
Big time, yeah.
If you're there for X amount of years, they're like, why didn't you? You have no ambition.
Yeah.
You didn't want to move up. I will say what's interesting. One other thing, big picture about the movie is that you can't really define it into one genre, and I think some of the best movies this last year, Sinners, Weapons, you couldn't necessarily peg into like this is an action movie or an X movie, right? There are comedic elements, there's dramatic elements, there's thriller elements to it, and I think that is cool to see where you can still have something that's a little bit different. Obviously, it's been done before, I think genre defining has always been interesting. It goes back to the old days of plays where it's like it's a comedy or a drama, and it's because
Tragedy.
Because and the only way it is different is if it ends with a wedding or a funeral.
Yep.
If it ends with a wedding, it's a comedy. If it ends with a funeral, it's a tragedy.
Yep.
I did not know that.
And like that has obviously split off into different genres and everything. It's still cool to be pegged where it's like Weapons, for example. I haven't laughed that hard in a theater and then been so scared within a 5-minute range. And I felt some of that with this movie as well, where it's just like there were some scenes that were so funny, and then there's some stuff that is just so dark and depressing also within the movie. And I think a movie in today's world that can weave you in and out of all those different complex emotions it's a skilled feat to do, and not feel like you're having whiplash or feeling like the movie feels out of place.
I have a bold prediction.
Oh, here we go.
So obviously you saw this movie, No Other Choice, in 2026.
Yes.
It came out in 2025, but I'm still going to consider it a 2026 movie for you.
Sure.
My bold prediction: you will not see a better movie this year.
I think
Knowing
that's
like the
fair.
slate of movies that are
There's
coming
a
out,
lot of movies coming out.
there is a lot, but
There's a lot
I
of,
don't
like
think
IP movies.
I
coming out.
exactly. I don't think there's going to be anything like there will be some stuff that's like obviously well done and good, like the Odyssey, But like the Odyssey is not going to be a genre defining thing. I don't think you're going to go through a range of emotion like what you went through with No Other Choice. Yeah,
I think the Odyssey will not be. Here's my bold prediction for 2026. I think the Odyssey won't be a failure, but it will not be.
Take it back.
I think it will be a step down for Christopher Nolan.
whoa, that's a pretty big one.
Because I think it's hard. There are very few directors and filmmakers that follow up their best picture with another
Best Picture.
Yeah.
That and also that soon too.
That
he
soon, that
literally
quickly.
finished Oppenheimer, like the press junkets, and then started Odyssey.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there was no beat.
And I think this goes back to our feelings with Nolan when like Tenet came out and everything and I still felt this with Oppenheimer, like he's become this really big filmmaker that's very egotistical. And that's true of many directors and many filmmakers. And
I think it's true of anyone who's creative.
Sure. And I think,
Yeah.
but I think for like Nolan in particular, I just, it's funny that he won Best Picture for Oppenheimer when I don't think anyone here considers that his very best.
No, definitely not.
Picture.
No.
Do you even put it in this top 3?
No, I don't think I'll ever
it's a
watch
personal-
Oppenheimer again.
Yeah.
Like the subject matter, regardless of the subject matter being what it is. And again, I'm a big believer like that. You should not have made a movie essentially like talking or glorifying or whatever you want to call it. Like, I don't think that should have happened, but it's not a movie that like makes you stop and think and like we all know what happened. Sure. And like, I get the story and the point of it is on the man who came up with the idea. And I get that was to be the focus, but again, it's about the whole thing, the whole picture, right? Like while in Inception or in Interstellar, I can sit and I can pick apart characters and their motivations for things. And yes, there's a bigger picture or whatever, but it makes you think and stop or whatever. While Oppenheimer's just like, nah.
It feels Michael Bay-esque to me. Maybe this is rude to say, but in terms of like Christopher Nolan, to me, is more his older films. Every intent used to be for the story, for like what helped the story, and now it feels like every choice he makes is like what makes it look cool and feel cool. To me as the filmmaker, not necessarily best thing for the story. And I certainly felt that with Tenet, right? Like, which is a movie that just felt overindulgent in so many ways, where it was just like, this is my vision and I'm going to present it this way no matter what, at the cost of, to me, for me personally, the story and it making sense, and feeling cohesive in a way, right? Obviously, if you rewatch Tenet a few times, I think you pick up on more things. Maybe it's a little bit better. And to a lesser degree, I felt that with Oppenheimer too, in terms of just like, I'm doing this choice not because it's the best thing for the movie, but because I want to try out this thing and I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
That's my fear with Odyssey. Like, it just feels like because it is this big epic, he's like. And he's coming off of this Oscar win. He's like, this is what I'm going to do.
This is what I want to do. Yeah, he's becoming like
a parody of himself.
Yes, kind of.
Yeah,
but it's like,
happens.
but it's like remember like the late 2000s to like the early 2010s, there was like Michael Bay. Granted, it was like tied around Transformers and there were sprinkles of other things, but it was one of those things where it's like, it's just too much of this person, right? It's like the Marvel problem.
Yeah.
There's too much Marvel. It's oversaturated. I'm sick of it.
Spielberg ran into this literally when he entered the 2000s.
Yeah.
Like he came off of the greatest run of like the 80s and 90s, making all these movies, and then he just made a bunch of shit.
Yeah. And I think that's what's happening is like, I don't, that's the thing that was like, because he's, the studios have like figured out the science of how to make a movie like marketable as hell. Like it will not financially fail.
Yeah.
Right.
And because it won't,
He's too big to fail.
Basically. And because it won't financially fail, then it's,
well, here's the trick with like art and movies and TV shows, right? When you find something you like, you want more of it. But if you get too much of it, you get sick of it. So you have to straddle this fine line of, I'm giving you the same thing, but it's different enough where you'll still come back and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And you either go and keep making the same thing, or you go too far off of what people liked and they don't like it. And it's a hard line to straddle and it's a hard line to figure out, right? This is why, like, I think no other choice we liked, because it is something different. It's something it feels fresh. It feels new, right? Versus like seeing the 37th Marvel movie in the long running saga. Even like Dune Messiah that's coming out. Are people going to love that? Or are people going to be like, oh, I've already seen 2 Dunes? I'm like,
I don't know.
What,
Has Denis ever made a bad movie?
Of course he has.
No. What movie has he made that's bad? He's never made a bad movie. So I have high hopes for Dune.
I just hope that once Dune Messiah is done, he'll go and do something else.
Dune 4.
No, like
I want the whole thing.
I think we need something else from him because like his other like Sicario.
Sicario's great.
What's the other one with
Blade Runner?
Arrival is another good
Arrival,
one.
amazing movie.
Great movies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He does not make bad movies.
But like he
Prisoners?
needs to do something else besides like he can't stay.
It might be bad.
He can't stay in the Dune bubble. He needs to get out of it. Yeah.
I guess all I'm going to say about Christopher Nolan is you could be right about Odyssey, but Odyssey also might be a return to form because he's gone. He has done some wacky movie. Not wacky, but for him, right? Like Tenet was this really, for most of us, nonsensical sci-fi. And then Oppenheimer was a biopic, right? Those are two.
They are different, yeah.
Yeah. And Tenet is probably the more evolved form of like Inception, right? The mind-bendy, twisty sci-fi. Odyssey is pretty straightforward story, right? So it's going to be interesting to see how he tackles that because a lot of his movies do have like twists and turns and unexpected elements, right? Think of like The Prestige and Interstellar and all these movies. They have like something crazy. Odyssey is, as you have said a few times the last few days, the most well-known story, epic poem. The
first hero's
has
tale.
a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yeah. Or the hero's tale.
If you barring any unforeseen shenanigans by Nolan and the writer, which I think is probably Nolan.
Well, I think it's Jonathan Nolan.
Oh, really?
No, he hasn't worked with Jonathan Nolan over his last few movies.
Oh, are they fighting?
Probably.
No, I just think Jonathan's making shitty TV.
Oh, cool.
like Westworld.
So it's going to be interesting to see how he tackles a poem that might be blasphemous to stray from. Like, you probably have to tell it beat for beat.
Well, people are already annoyed being like the armor
historical
classes,
accuracy,
and
yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah, it was
a
the screenplay.
tale.
He wrote the movie as well. He's the solo. He's the sole credited writer.
well, I mean, it is.
Solo.
I mean, the Odyssey is kind of a zany story. You got a Cyclops, you have Medusa in there, you've got.
Well, it's also mythical, so he's definitely going to.
Well, I
Yeah.
just mean, you go from like one obstacle to the next. It's,
Yeah.
it's like fairly. I'm talking about like character motivation and stuff.
Sure,
it's,
sure.
It's fairly simple. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff that happens, and there's a lot of like morals and lessons to be learned.
Right.
Right. Important ones, but for the most part, storytelling wise, fairly straightforward.
and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's Odysseus, right?
Yeah.
Isn't he the only one that returns?
Yeah.
He gets his
Spoiler alert: he loses his whole crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But how does he lose his whole crew?
He actually murders them all.
He various ways. Yeah. We got Cyclops, sirens.
Speaking of
betrayals,
betraying
dogs,
one's team,
drowning.
Stranger Things.
Yeah, let's get to Stranger Things.
Traitors?
Huh?
Anyways,
Finale came out New Year's Eve. We watched it that night. I would say the sense in the room was disappointment, big time. And I'm curious to hear, now that you've sat on it for a few days, how you guys are still feeling about the finale, if your thoughts have changed. I think the most interesting thing I found, again, I think we were all pretty low on the season as it's gone on with each part. I think we were like, part one was pretty good.
Yeah.
Part two,
Boring.
pretty not as good. And then this one, we're like, this is not great. I will say the internet and the general reaction has been similar in terms of part one, part two. The thing I've been surprised at is
people love part
I think
three.
a lot of people did like the ending more than we did. And, I'm curious what you guys think of that. If part of that is the theater effect, a lot of people seeing this in theaters, having the excitement of seeing it in a communal way, seeing it on a big screen, seeing kind of your show end in this kind of epic way. Or if you just feel like, the finale was pretty down the middle in terms of it kind of went the way, the heroes won. There were a few losses, and then they kind of moved on with their lives. Type of ending where there weren't any necessarily big twists or 11th hour game changers or anything like that. It was pretty straightforward.
I mean, the only big twist, right, would be Mike's tale at the end of the possibility that 11 survived, and
Sure.
the Duffer Brothers have come out and said like it's meant to be open-ended and up to the viewer. And I don't know, that always feels like a weird cop-out to me unless it's done really, really well.
Yeah.
And
Which a lot of people felt like it was done very well.
I think it was done okay.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason I say it was done okay is because
Was it really that ambiguous? I think that's what. That possible.
But I guess like my thing is,
Seems pretty straightforward.
wait, is it Will or is it Mike?
Mike's 11's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Mike's
Mike's end.
tale of what happened to 11. I guess my whole thing is like, up until that moment where they're sitting at the table and they're playing D&D again, I had completely forgotten that Mike was like the DM and was like the storyteller. Had no idea.
Yeah.
Like, so again, the emotional impact of that whole thing felt weird to me. And that's why I'm saying, in my eyes, like it wasn't done well in terms of, is it an open-ended thing? And again, that's in part because of how long the show has taken to get us here.
Yeah.
As a viewer, and if you want me to care about your show, I can't be expected to remember 10 years worth of stuff. And I'm also not going to go back and rewatch all of this stuff ahead of time. Like that's like, if you wanted that to be a thing, it should have been built into this season in some way.
Sure.
I don't know how you would have done that, but I had completely forgotten that.
Yeah, it's a big gap, and I think they never properly addressed that, in a way, and it felt comical. I think we've talked about just the aging of the actors and characters and the kids. And
adults.
a lot of retcons that they had to do. Like, I think we talked about this, like the sister Holly is canonically, she would only be 7 in this show. And like I think they aged her up to 10 because they're just like, we can't like these can't be 7-year-olds essentially that are doing all the heavy lifting we need in this season.
Was it part 2? The majority of on screen was the Holly character,
I think part 1
or part 1, yeah. Or I think in total she had the most screen time or something insane.
It's certainly high,
Yeah.
which I don't think people expected. Even Derek had a lot of screen time. Like these 2 new characters, younger kids.
Which makes me wonder, like, are they going to be part of this new spin-off thing?
Well, certainly, I think another thing that we did not like about the finale was the very obvious, like, we can set up this spin-off of these characters in New York.
The Stranger
and
Things universe.
These characters here and the next generation of the kids here in Hawkins, you know.
Leaving a lot of stuff open.
Again, even though the Duffer Brothers have like, we have a pitch that's coming for a spin-off and everything that is separate from Hawkins, separate from everything that we've seen, new characters and everything. Part of me feels like this is the 30-year-old cynic talking of the studio is like, you got to put those things in so we have the potential to do this spinoff and do this spinoff and do this spinoff, right? Now, I don't think any of the main actors would want to come back. I think they're like, my commitment is done. I'm going to move on. I also think part of the reason the 11 ending is ambiguous, according to the Duffer Brothers, is because at least from my impression of everything, I don't think they could convince Millie Bobby Brown to come back to this show and do a spinoff or do a continuation with 11. Now, again, maybe that changes with time.
Well, but that's the thing, though. Like with with the actress not wanting to come back, and she's supposed to be roughly 13, 14, 15, right? The character?
They're all 18 by the end of the...
Okay, so she's 18.
17, 18.
So then your spin-off, if you want to continue 11's story, you find an actress or whoever to play like a 30-year-old.
Sure, they could do that.
You could do it that way and just continue and set it in modern day, and it's like, this is the story now suddenly.
That'd be more interesting, for sure.
Right.
Yeah, the rift reopened for reasons.
But I think, again, they leave it open-ended because they have the ability to do whatever they want, right? If
milk it till it's dead.
If someone comes in and they're like, our story, we don't have 11 in it. Okay, she's not around or she's dead.
Yeah.
Or my story is focused on 11. Okay, we can recast because we're going to jump it up 12, 15, 20 years or whatever. To me, I almost feel like, because the Duffers are leaving Netflix, they're going to Paramount with their new overall deal. To me, this is going to become like a Star Wars situation.
Wait, is that why Paramount wanted Netflix? Partly? Was that part of the...
I mean, I'm sure that's a bonus, but that's not like the primary reason.
Yeah.
So I think...
Oh, wait, no. Sorry. That's Paramount wanting Warner Brothers.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
So I think part of what's going to happen is it's going to become like a Star Wars situation where, Star Wars over the last decade has been like, come in with your ideas and your pitches. And they've been, there's been 10, 15 projects that's been developing, and they've had shows come out and just different things that have come. And I feel like that's what's going to happen with Stranger Things. They're going to be like, come with your Stranger Things ideas. These are all the open threads. If you want to do this, we can do this. And if you can convince David Harbour and Winona Ryder to come back, cool.
Wait, isn't David Harbour going to be in the spinoff?
No.
I thought I read somewhere that he potentially would be in it.
The only spin-offs they have coming out, it's an animated one that's set between seasons 2 and 3 with a new voice cast playing the characters.
Well, the actor who plays Will be back for it.
I don't think so. I think it's completely new.
Pretty sure he is.
And then this spin-off that the Duffers have talked about, which is it's basically related to the Mind Flayer rock and everything from the finale.
That's what the spin-off's going to be?
Yeah, it's going to be more
hanging out.
I think it's not going to be in Indiana, and it's not going to have any of the characters that you know, and it's not going to be like exactly the Upside Down. It's probably going to be related more to Dimension X,
the right side up.
Yeah. So
my thoughts on Stranger Things are, I actually forget large parts of it. It was just so non-impactful to me that honestly, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's so long between seasons. I think the finale probably worked if you're a diehard Stranger Things fan.
Yeah.
And we know a couple people like that, or used to, or whatever. But if you're not, then...
It's just another show.
It's just another show.
Yeah.
I say this, all the spin-offs could not disinterest me more. So okay.
Bold prediction.
That's nice.
For the next 5 years. Krishna will be sitting on his couch one day and be like, "Oh, I want to watch something."
Oh, yeah.
And he'll come across a Stranger Things spinoff.
Oh, what's this?
And he'll text us and be like, "Guys, did you know about this crazy spinoff?"
I do. To me, Stranger Things
refuse.
needs, which sounds
It needs to
weird.
end. It should have ended.
Well, here's what sounds weird because there were such big gaps between seasons. I think it needs a rest. I think you need to put it on the shelf for a while in terms of just.
What happened to just telling a
mania.
complete story and being done with it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think you
This
just
isn't Britain.
you just put it on the shelf for a while.
No, forever.
And then let people rediscover it. Let people, and if there is interest, I'm talking from the studio perspective. If there is more interest in doing more around it, if like people still love it in a few years, then I think look at some of this.
Yeah,
other
but
stuff
that's not
before
how
you
they
do that.
operate. Like they have to. They
they're
have
gonna
to.
they're gonna strike while the iron's hot.
Right. They're going to keep going.
But they're gonna oversaturate it, and then people will hate it.
Yeah. I mean, people already. It seems like most people hate it, or at least 50% of the internet hates it.
Yeah.
Which again, I think. Or here's a good question for you. Like, there's like one of the trends around this was show yourself like 10 years ago when Stranger Things first started, or recap what's happened like the last 10 years. And a lot of people, it's like kids with their parents started watching this like when they were like 13, 14, and they're now in their early 20s, they're post college. Would you argue in a way, like for those kids, they are seeing themselves in the kids from the show, right? So like this is their staple. Would you argue then, is the show more for like their generation? Is it for like our generation? Is it for the kids of the actual 80s? Like who's the show made for?
I mean, I think it's supposed to be all, right? Like the show is trying to encompass like
Everything.
these different storylines of these kids, these teenagers in high school, right? Like the Nancys and Jonathans and Steve Harringtons, and then also the adults, right? The Winona Ryder and the David Harbour characters in particular. So I think it's supposed to be for everybody, and I think that's also part of what captured in season one. The essence of like a lot of people like this, like you related to one of those generations, or
That's fair.
or you just thought the story was cool, right? Or you grew up in the '80s and were like, this was awesome.
Well, I guess if like you
Whatever
grew up
the
in the
case may
80s
be.
and you have kids, everything would
Yeah.
be super relatable to you.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the thing that's interesting to me is it was 10 years of this show, but you got 5 seasons. And you look at other shows and their runs, right? Game of Thrones went for 9 years, 10 years, you got 8 seasons, right? It's different. We're in a different landscape in terms of like how much are you getting in X amount of time. Severance, another really popular show,
yeah.
has been going for like, when was that first season? Did that first season come out in 2022?
21.
Sounds right.
21, I think. Yeah.
So it's been we're in year 5 and you've had 2 seasons.
And no season 3 in sight.
Exactly, right? Or even Pluribus, right, which just wrapped.
Pluribus is probably won't get until
You won't get that second season until 27 or 28.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, so this is the way that shows are made now. You don't get them every year. You get them even like Game of Thrones is a good example. You get a Game of Thrones season every year. With House of the Dragon, they're like, you get it every 2 years. Rings
Well,
of
no,
Power,
no,
you
they're
get it every 2
they're
years.
marketing it now. Where what did I see? They had a TV spot, and it was like Game of Thrones universe for like the next 3 years.
Yeah.
right. Because they've got that green thing coming.
The Green Knight? No.
Green Knight.
No.
Whatever the new one is, they have that coming out. Then you have House
Night of the
Dragon.
Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like, oh, that's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah,
into
they're
that.
trying to say like this is all connected. It's a whole universe instead of like. But if you're just a fan of House of the Dragon, you have to wait 2 years between season. If you're just a fan of Rings of Power, you have to wait 2 years between each season. And I think to your point, if you're not a super fan and you're not reading the text, or you're not going back and rewatching and watching theory videos constantly, there's a lot of details you're going to forget.
Yeah.
Right. And these shows are not like your CSI Miami's where it's like, oh man, I'm gonna make my speech at the top, and we have the murder to solve, and it's self-contained. They're narratives.
They're narratives, yeah,
They're
super
heavy
connected.
narratives. It's like reading a book, and you stop at one chapter, and then you're like, I'm gonna come back to it in 2 years.
You guys don't read like
I
that?
feel like that's how Christian reads.
some books, yeah.
Oh Jesus!
But like, how much do you retain?
Nothing.
Surprisingly a lot. Depends.
Oh well, you're so smart.
Reading's different though.
Sure.
You retain more when you read.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you're
You force it,
you're an active
yeah.
participator.
Yeah.
in the story.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
This conversation slightly reminds me of our end of Attack on Titan. conversation.
It was a similar thing, though, right? That
Yeah.
final season was
Took forever.
spread out over
Took
several
way
months.
too
Attack on
long.
Titan's beautiful. And
I wouldn't say. I
beautiful
mean,
and even if they do spin-offs and stuff, perfect story ending.
wait, but if
Yeah.
they do spin-offs, then they didn't end it.
If they do spin-off, but I don't need to watch the spin-offs to feel like I got a complete story. And I was satisfied with that ending. I love that ending.
Have you watched it since?
I'm. It's too heavy to go back. It's too soon. I'm going to.
You know, it was
watch
2 years
It's
ago,
soon.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's maybe
Well,
year
almost
3.
almost 3 years.
Yeah.
I'll
I'm
never go
not
back
ready.
and
I'm not
watch
ready to have my heart broken again. So I'm gonna
By
wait.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll never watch it again, I don't think.
Yeah.
Really?
It didn't hit it for him, which is fine.
No, it didn't hit for me.
Damn.
Yeah.
You know what? It works really well at Stargate. It's good show.
Yeah, it's a great CSI Miami type of show.
Whoa. That's not
blasphemy.
everything. No way. That thing is multi-season, multi-show connected.
Yeah, but also, but
Narrative.
there is a self-contained element to Stargate.
Yeah,
they would do
bunch
their
of
missions
people,
of the week. There was
right.
connected tissue.
Sure.
But again, it was an old style of television where you didn't have to tune in every single week, and you could still follow the story. And you get 20 episodes every year.
Yeah.
You know.
But that costs more to make, especially in today's money.
No, it costs less.
Really?
Stranger Things is like the most expensive show that was ever created.
For no good reason.
Right, because but the reason it's so expensive is because
Yeah.
they're trying to do movie quality into a TV show versus like you go back
Relying
and
on
watch Stargate
good story.
SG-1, right? Well,
Plastic.
you're also like part of filmmaking and part of like being creative is sometimes being constrained.
Yes.
And you don't have constraints anymore. That's why it takes 3 years because it's like however long you need to write, go ahead.
And it still looks
whatever
like
you
dog
need
shit
to
half
go.
the time.
And
Exactly.
And the stories aren't great.
The
and-
stories aren't great. Versus
then-
like,
and then
you
you have-
have,
where's
and you
that
have
money?
Apple Watches
guess what?
and Under Armour.
You have a week to write an episode of television and then shoot it.
Yeah.
And that's why you have like the shitty sets. Doctor Who, like that's why the Daleks have mops for hands. But guess what? It still works. They still made it intimidating. You know, in some ways.
I hate that.
Christian, you're a huge Doctor Who fan. You're a Whovian.
Just like you hate Attack on Titan.
I don't hate Attack on Titan.
why do
Well,
you
I hate
hate
Doctor Who.
Why do you hate Attack on Titan?
I don't hate it.
Arjuna,
Is it because
tell us about
the
your
Titans
hatred.
were scary?
No, they weren't. I just think
The Titans are terrifying. What is wrong with
they
you?
weren't that scary.
Jesus Christ.
Speaking of animes, another bold prediction.
Solo Leveling?
I bet Arjuna will watch Solo Leveling this
I
year,
will. I want to catch up.
and
on
he'll say it's the greatest anime of all time.
What if I hate it?
He will not say that.
You
I can guarantee.
will.
I think I'll like it.
I think you'd like it. You just
You're not gonna
You
say
guys,
it.
but I've heard a lot of things about season 2 that you guys don't really like it.
No, it's just different. It
Yeah.
takes in a different direction, and
Because he's a different class.
he's
Is it Paladin?
No, he becomes a
dark wizard.
necromancer.
Oh yeah, necromancer.
Okay, one last thing I want to end the pod on before, unless anyone has anything on Stranger Things or No Other Choice or any other bold predictions. I want to talk a little D&D.
Oh,
So we actually, just to, peel behind the curtain, we have started a new D&D campaign. And I am the DM.
you are.
And so I want to hear your guys' thoughts on how I did.
Thanks for tuning in. As always, you can find us.
Damn.
No, that was really good.
It was good, yeah.
Yeah. It was good to get
Why?
your energy
Why?
in
Wait,
there.
I'm sorry. You asked us the same question post session, the first session. Are
do
you
want
just
it on air.
Are you just trying to get it on tape?
No, I just,
You're
I just
valid-
wanted,
Do you want to be
after a
validated
couple
on tape?
days, if there were any, if there was any feedback that you guys had.
Like Stranger Things, I have completely forgotten about that session.
It was 2 days ago.
It's been too long.
It's too long.
No. Yeah, it's been really good. It was
you
fun.
need to stop acting like big Hollywood, and you should do the sessions every day.
Yep.
Okay, well, we have a spinoff coming on Tuesday.
Oh God.
If you, I swear to God, if this campaign has to end in 6 months.
What?
Wait, what?
I want a complete story. I've never ever
It's true. We've
done a
never-
completed
No, we did.
Oh, which one?
The very first campaign that
we
Christian
did. We
did.
finished it.
It was
and
a
that was
complete
what,
story.
10 plus years ago,
No.
roughly.
No, it was 2018, 2019.
That's like 10 years ago.
That was like 8 years ago.
Yeah, anyway, which is basically 10. Anyway, haven't done a complete campaign since then. So I think, to your point, or what you just said about constraints, writing a whole episode in a week, you have 6 months
Jesus.
to give us a complete story. That doesn't mean the campaign has
5
to
years. You have 5
end.
years. 5 years.
But like the adventure that you're thinking of
Sure.
needs to and we are committing, right?
Yeah.
to trying to do this weekly within reason, obviously. Life obviously comes
And
up.
we have a bet that's
do?
going for this campaign. If all of the original characters reach level 20,
That's right. Christian will get a tattoo.
Christian said he will get a tattoo.
Which is not going to happen in 6 months.
It won't happen.
Oh
in
no,
6
no, I
months.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going from level
Wait,
1
wait,
to level
wait,
20
wait.
should take, like,
My
years.
character has solo leveling powers.
Yeah, I know. You got to talk to your DM about that.
Can my character have solo leveling powers?
That's
Jim
going to
doesn't
be
know
a
what that
no.
means. Can I add the Necromancer class for free?
No.
Yeah, no, really good. I've enjoyed it. It's good getting a fresh voice in there, and I think we're all a little zany with our characters, which is always a good time. Busty Betsy is my favorite. I don't know who plays that, or I won't reveal it.
It's a secret.
They're in this room.
Where?
Where's Betsy?
Where's Busty Betsy? Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for us here on the Was It Good podcast. We'll be back when we feel like it. Maybe that'll be next week. Maybe that'll be in a month. Who knows?
Maybe
will
next
figure it
quarter.
out. I believe the next host will be Ravi.
Yeah.
To host, and we'll see you when we see you. You can like, subscribe, comment at all the various places that you do that for Was It Good?
YouTube.com/
YouTube.com.
was it good?
Was it God?
Was it
Was it
gone?
gone?
Should we rebrand?
Was it gone?
Was it God?
What does
I
that
have
even
one more
mean?
prediction.
Oh,
The Patriots will make the Super Bowl.
Whoa!
And I will be forced to come back for a party, but they will lose to the Seahawks.
wow.
52-49. What the highest scoring
Super Bowl ever?
of ever.
Of ever. Love that.
Of
English.
ever. The end. That's the end of my poll prediction.
Okay. Goodbye.